So what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, and welcome to this video episode of the Honor 5X by Huawei versus the ZTE Zmax 2. You know this phone if you've been on the channel. And I know what you're probably thinking already, that the ZTE Zmax 2 is not even in the league of the Honor 5X. But I think if you thought that, you might be a little bit shocked at how close it actually is. So when the ZTE Zmax 2 first dropped, this was around 150 to 250 bucks retail. It did come down, way down. It's now $60 as of the recording of this video at Best Buy. And I don't know of any phone on the market that you can get for $60 that's going to give you 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabytes of storage, a quad-core CPU, and Android Lollipop. I mean, it's just incredible value here. This is probably the best value budget phone of all time, I believe. You know, if you have something else that's better at $60 than this, I like to hear it. Over here on the left, we have the Honor 5X, which is a mid-range budget device, 200 bucks. And so let's talk about them just a little bit more. So the Honor 5X has a 5.5-inch full HD display, and it has a 5 megapixel front camera, a fingerprint scanner here, a 13 megapixel rear camera. The ZTE Zmax 2 has a 5.5-inch HD display, which is going to be 720p HD, a 2 megapixel front facing camera, and a rear 8 megapixel camera. So let's start this comparison, speed part right now. We're going to boot these guys up at the same time in 3, 2, 1. And yes, I do have some scratches on the ZTE Zmax 2, you could see. But let's go ahead and boot these guys up and see who gets there first. Now, in my, assumption, I'm going to assume that the Honor is going to get there first. It is showing to boot up pretty quick from my experience. The ZTE Zmax 2, if you've been watching the channel, we know it needs some time to warm up. But once it gets warmed up, it's fine. Now, the ZTE Zmax 2 does run a more stock vanilla-like Android with a few little minor enhancements, whereas the Honor here runs its own taste of Android Emotion UI or the EMUI. So I have to enter my password here on the Honor, but you can see I do have some applications lined up here. But while that's booting up, let's go ahead and go into the software and confirm what we are running here on the Honor while we're waiting on the ZTE over there. So I told you, it's true. This one takes a while to boot up. And you know what? For 4 times cheaper, I can wait on that for a second. But you can see EMUI 3.1. We'll talk more about this in the full review. Over here, we do have, octa-core CPU, 2 gigs of RAM. We talked about that. 5.1.1 Lollipop here. We're going to talk more about specifications in just a little bit. So the ZTE is now booted up. Let me go and make sure the display doesn't keep turning off in the video. Really quickly, give me just 1 second. Okay, 10 minutes activity. So going into settings here, you can see that the ZTE Zmax 2 does run Android 5.1 Lollipop. So 5.1.1, so a little bit more stable software you would think over here on the Honor 5X, but I do have all these applications lined up, and we're going to talk a little bit about those in a second. But let's go into CPU-Z. So the Honor 5X does rock the 615, and the ZTE Zmax 2 rocks the 400. So the advantage of the Honor 5X is it has 4 more cores, the same low-powered CPU cores. Do you really need those cores? Well, we'll have to see in this video. But the Honor 5X does have a, about the same size display, but a lot more pixel dense. And in terms of which display is better, the Honor 5X does have the better display, but I do think the ZTE Zmax 2 is not, too far off, especially if you're being 4 times less. Is this display 4 times better than the ZTE Zmax 2? I don't think so. It's probably 2 times better, but not 4 times better. So let's go ahead and close everything out and make sure that everything is closed so we can go into this fair testing here. And I'm going to start with some system apps up at the top, and then I'm going to get into some third-party apps at the bottom, and then we're going to play a couple of games, do a couple of browsing tests, and we're going to run a speed test and a Geekbench. So let's start off with calendar. We're going to try to go through this pretty quickly, and if I miss taps, let me know. Calendar. So you can see about the same. Let's go home. Let's go to clock. That looked like the Honor 5X. Let's go home. Let's go into calculator. Looked like the ZTE right there, so they're going head to head. Let's go to settings here. Look like the Honor 5X. Let's go home. Let's go to camera. That looked like the Honor 5X once again. So the Honor 5X is showing its octa-core balls here. So let's go to YouTube. Let's go to YouTube here. So the Honor 5X is got that one down first. So the octa-core CPU does seem to be performing a bit better here than the 400 here on the ZTE. But ZTE catches you once again. Now we're waiting on the 5X. And they are connected to the same Wi-Fi network here. And let's go back home here. Let's go to Netflix. Both of these apps are all updated in the same, processes. So application not found. And I just said updated and look, it treats me. I didn't update the Netflix over there, but that looked like it was going to be the same anyway. Let's go to Amazon here. And looks like the ZTE wins that one. So they're neck and neck here on the speed, even though octa-core, quad-core. So don't let this whole, octa-core, quad-core marketing thing fool you. Quad-core is not a slow device. So let's go back home. Let's go into a Best Buy here. And I'm tapping these at the same time. And we have a crash here on the Honor 5X. So not looking good for you there, Honor 5X. ZTE holding its ground. Let's go to Twitter. And Honor 5X is going to come back with a win. Yes, it does. So the Honor 5X comes back with a win, but only slightly on Twitter. Let's go into the browser on both of these devices here. So if I go into the browser, I think I missed that tap. That wasn't fair for ZTE. Sorry, ZTE. Let's go back home. Let's go into browser here. Now we're fair. So Honor wins that on just the boot up time. These are the stock browsers that they give. I think this is based on Dolphin for the ZTE. But let's go to apple.com. I just like to go to apple.com because it's a very optimized website. I don't want to play around with laggy websites. So let's go to apple.com here in 3, 2, 1. See who gets there first. Okay, that wasn't fair because this was the Google version. Let's just try to go to a link here in the Apple browser to make this more fair. Let's go to Apple Watch on both. ZTE won this one, and now Honor, and that might be because it's a Dolphin-based browser. Who knows? But you know what? The ZTE is showing that it can hang in there with the Honor 5X. I think I have the blue light filter on here. Let me go ahead and... Nope, actually it's just a warmer display. So the Honor 5X's display, you can see, is a bit sharper. Really hard to tell on camera, but it is definitely sharper. I do think the ZTE Zmax 2 has a clearer, brighter display, but the Honor 5X has a sharper, and it's noticeably better full HD display. So let's get into Vector. Let's run a game here, and let's see who loads this first. We got an error on the Honor 5X, and please download the extra content here on ZTE. Look at this, right on camera, we got an error on the Honor 5X. So the Honor 5X is showing that it is not, the best software experience over here. And I was going to get to this towards the end of the video, but I'm telling you guys, the ZTE Zmax 2 is just a champ. I'm telling you guys. Let's go into the future fight here, and let's see who gets there first. We're not going to play these games, but they both do drop some frames here. So, looks like they're close, but it looks like the Honor 5X is going to win this one. And yes, the Honor 5X is ahead here in terms of the, game loading times. But both do drop frames when you actually start playing the games. But we're not going to waste too much more time with that. Both do drop frames when you actually start playing the games, though. And let's run a speed test. Like I say, both are connected to the same Wi-Fi network here. So let's run a speed test and see which one pulls in better speeds here. 3, 2, 1. And let's see which one is going to pull in the better speed. I'm going to say ZTE, but that's just me. All right, look at ZTE going here. Going crazy, man. Look at them. 30 megs down. And Honor 5X is barely pulling in 1.8. I don't know what's up with this phone in this test. It's just not showing its love here. Maybe this is a sign that you guys should save your money and go get a ZTE Zmax 2. I don't know, guys. But if it was my choice, I definitely would not spend 4 times as much for an Honor 5X over a ZTE Zmax 2. I would save my money and go get, you know, some clothes or some shoes or something else at the mall. But whatever. You know, so you could see that. But let's test again because that wasn't, you know, that was kind of odd. Let's see if the Honor 5X can come back with a better time here. And yeah, it's showing that it did pick up just a bit, but the ZTE Zmax 2 is still beating it by a good 6 to 8 megs down. So, you know, ZTE Zmax 2, pretty strong performance here for a $60 phone. And everybody who's used this device, they know this already. I don't got to tell them anything. So let's go back home. And we're not going to run a Geekbench because this video is already over 10 minutes long. But let's go ahead and do some multitasking and just see how it performs. I do not like this Honor 5X multitasking, but let's just go into and see who's holding apps in the background just a bit better. So we're going to go to Calendar here. Let's go to Calendar. And you can see that was ZTE once again. Let's go into something that was more process intensive. Let's go to Vector didn't open on there. Let's go to Future Fight. So about the same here on Future Fight. So, you know, give or take, octa-core CPU, quad-core CPU, but both offer very similar performance. I mean, guys, it's just being proven here in the video. And a lot of you are going to say, some of those tests don't matter, blah, blah, blah. I've used both of these phones, and I can tell you, they both perform pretty similarly. I honestly think the ZTE Zmax 2 has a better touch response time. It feels more optimized, whereas this software glitches out more often. You'll learn more about that in the full review. So what's the moral of the story here? Are you guys looking for a smartphone that's not going to break the bank? And you want one here? You got ZTE Zmax 2, you got Huawei Honor 5X or Honor 5X by Huawei. Is it worth 4 times? That's up to you to decide. In my opinion, no way. ZTE Zmax 2 just took the crown in this versus video. What are your thoughts on these two devices? Is there anything you want to see in future comparison videos? If you guys enjoyed this video, please click the like button for me. Share this video with anybody that you think could find this thing useful or, you know, is just interested in phones and tech. And like I say, drop those comments down below. And I will catch you all in the next episode. Have a great day. Be sure to be well. And peace.